Dear friend, if I asked you, what did you eat this morning to protect your memory? You might say, I had a full breakfast, doctor. Bread, eggs, low-fat milk. Nothing missing at all. Sounds fine. Sounds healthy. But what if I told you that very breakfast might slow down the blood flow to your brain and silently increase your risk of stroke each day? Would you be willing to reconsider? Because, as a brain doctor, I've seen so many brains begin to decline not because of age, but because of the wrong breakfast repeated for years. You see, after a long night, your blood becomes thicker and flows more slowly. If you pour the wrong things into your body like refined sugar, fast carbs, or unhealthy fats, you've missed the chance to turn on the faucet for your brain in the morning. And strangely, the very thing that helps soften blood vessels, stabilize blood sugar, and nourish your morning memory. It is a food many people call bland. It's oats. But this story doesn't start with me. It starts with a patient whose name was Walter. The story of Mr. Walter and a mild stroke after a healthy breakfast. Mr. Walter is now 74 years old. Living with his wife in Oregon, every morning he gets up at 6 a.m., prepares a breakfast he believes is perfect for his health, a bowl of instant cereal, fat-free milk, a few slices of white bread, and orange juice. You know, doctor, he said, I've been eating like this for over 10 years. No fat, no fried food, not much salt. I thought I was doing everything right. But one morning last month, after finishing breakfast and taking a short 15-minute walk outside, he suddenly felt dizzy, blurry-eyed, and lost his balance for a few seconds. His wife panicked and called 911. Fortunately, there was no major damage. But the brain blood flow test showed, blood flow to the left hemisphere had significantly slowed. Small vessels around the memory region showed signs of constriction and mild hardening. I looked at his food journal. Not a single meal was missed. But it lacked one crucial thing: soluble fiber and healthy fats, the very things the brain needs to keep its vessels smooth each morning. Mr. Walter didn't do anything wrong. He just missed the right choice. And in his case, simply switching from sweet cereal to a bowl of soft cooked whole oats made a noticeable difference within just a few weeks. You might think oats are bland, but for the brain arteries after age 60, they're the most important softener to start the day. So what exactly do oats do for your brain? Let me show you a simple image you won't forget. Oats are the blood vessel filter every morning. Imagine your brain as a garden high up on a hill. To get water, that is, blood, up there each morning, you need smooth, flexible pipes that aren't clogged by the debris from the day before. And oats are that very filter at the start of the pipe. Inside oats is a special type of fiber called beta-glucan. It works like a fine mesh inside your gut, trapping LDL, the bad cholesterol, stabilizing blood sugar, and slowing down how quickly sugar enters your bloodstream. As a result, your morning blood flow doesn't spike, nor does it crash, but stays steady, warm, and smooth enough to reach your brain through even the tiniest vessels. I often compare oats to a quiet gatekeeper. It doesn't excite like coffee, doesn't give the quick full feeling like white bread, but it helps the brain start the day without blockage. Many people over 60 often feel foggy when they wake up. It's not necessarily an illness. It's just that the blood hasn't been cleansed and softened enough to awaken the brain. And oats quietly, gently do just that. But if you ask, so when's the best time to eat oats? The answer isn't just in the morning, but in the morning, right when your blood vessels need the most support. Why morning is the golden time to eat oats? After a long night, when your body has just woken up, it's also when the thickest blood of the day starts to flow. Breathing is still slow, blood vessels are still tight, and the brain hasn't received enough signals because enough blood hasn't arrived yet. This is the most sensitive time. Even the smallest change can affect memory, mood, and alertness for the next few hours. If you consume a food that spikes blood sugar, blood will rush to handle the glucose. The brain gets put on hold. You feel full but not truly awake. On the other hand, if you start with soft-cooked oats, blood stays stable, blood vessels gradually relax, and the brain gets a chance to be nourished right from the first hour of the day. For people over 60, this isn't just nutrition. This is a form of brain artery recovery, gentle, safe, and consistent every morning. That's also why I advised Mr. Walter to change his breakfast, from sugary cereal to oats. From white bread to whole grain toast. And after just 2 weeks, things began to shift. But not just him. I once saw a slow but clear recovery in another patient, a woman who loved poetry, once afraid she had lost her memory forever. Mrs. Helen's story and the effect after 2 weeks of eating oats. Mrs. Helen, 71 years old, lives alone in the suburbs of Cincinnati. She used to be a literature teacher, a woman who loved poetry, loved words, and had the habit of brewing tea and reading a short book passage every morning. But in our first meeting, she told me with a quiet voice, "Late, I read but can't remember what I'm reading. It's like the words appear, but my mind doesn't connect anymore." She wasn't confused. No signs of dementia. But blood flow to the frontal brain region, the which handles short-term memory, had steadily decreased compared to her checkup a year ago. I looked at the notebook where she had written. For the past 5 years, her breakfast was always white bread, a bit of strawberry jam, and milk coffee. I didn't change too much. Just suggested something very simple: each morning, replace it with a bowl of soft-cooked oats, add a few walnuts or banana slices. And after eating, reread a poem you once loved. 2 weeks later, she came back. Still the same eyes, but no longer cloudy. Her voice was softer, steadier. And she told me, "Yesterday morning, I reread a poem by Emily Dickinson. For the first time in months, I remembered the whole verse. And I cried. But I cried from joy." I don't think oats are a miracle. I simply believe the right breakfast can reopen the path for memories to return. And to keep that path from getting blocked again, you need to avoid a few mistakes that seem harmless but they are stealing away the true power of oats. 4 common mistakes when eating oats and gentle ways to fix them. 1. Cooking oats too thick or too dry. One common mistake is cooking oats like mushy rice, thick and dry. This slows down digestion, and the amount of water needed to carry nutrients to the brain is significantly reduced. Cook oats with more water, or use warm unsweetened nut milk. Create a soft, easy-to-swallow texture like how you'd prepare porridge for a loved one. 2. Adding too much sugar or syrup. Many people add brown sugar, honey, or even syrup to make it more enjoyable. But this causes a sharp spike in blood sugar and takes away the brain vascular stabilizing effect of oats. Let the sweetness come from ripe bananas, raisins, steamed apples, or fresh strawberries. The brain doesn't need much sugar. It needs gentle balance. 3. Skipping the combination with healthy fats. Oats are a slow-digesting carb, very beneficial. But without a bit of healthy fat alongside, they can't fully deliver nutrients into brain cells. Add a spoonful of walnuts, almonds, or a few slices of chopped avocado. This combo acts like a cart that delivers energy exactly where the brain needs it. 4. Trying once, then quitting because nothing changed. I've heard many say, "I ate oats for 2 days and felt no difference." The brain doesn't change like a light switch. It needs repetition, gentle and consistent. Stick with it for at least 14 days. Not to expect instant results but to create a new flow for your blood, your memory, and your clarity. In the next part, I will how to eat oats every morning. Gentle, effective, easy to maintain. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the many oat recipes online, start with the simplest thing: make a small, warm bowl just enough for you and your brain. Method: 1 warm oats cooked with nut milk. Use 3 tablespoons of rolled oats. Cook with 1 cup of water and ½ cup of unsweetened almond milk. When almost done, add a few banana slices, ½ a teaspoon of flax seeds. Lightly sprinkle with chopped walnuts or almonds. This is a soft porridge for the brain, warm and nutrient-rich. Method: 2 overnight oats. 3 tablespoons oats and ½ cup nut milk. Add half shredded apple, 1 tablespoon chia seeds. Soak overnight in a sealed jar, or enjoy cold or gently warmed the next morning. This is a way to eat oats as light as morning mist, perfect for busy mornings. Method 3 Oat smoothie. Blend raw oats with banana, spinach, almond milk, and walnuts. Smooth, easy to drink, nutrient-dense, helps you take in fiber and healthy fats at once. This is ideal for older adults who have difficulty chewing or eating solid food. General principles: no refined sugar, no condensed milk. Don't overcook. To preserve nutrients, don't force yourself to eat if bored. Just change the presentation and most importantly eat in a quiet space, no screens, no rushing. Because the brain needs to eat, too, like a gentle ritual to begin a clear-headed day. After 14 days, how your brain whispers thank you. You might not notice it right away. And there won't be a bell ringing, say, your brain is getting better. But I've observed hundreds of patients after 14 days of eating oats every morning, and there are 3 signs they often share, very real, very everyday. 1. Mornings are no longer foggy. Many say, I don't just sit there for 15 minutes before figuring out what to do. Some get up, make tea, then laugh, oh, I remembered to take my meds today, doctor. That's when the frontal lobe, the area for alertness, starts getting better nourishment. 2. Short-term memory gently returns, not remembering a full life story. Just remembering the grandchild who said good morning. Remembering what day it is. Or recalling an unfinished conversation from yesterday. That's the hippocampus, the short-term memory zone, being nourished every morning. 3. Mood feels more balanced. One older gentleman told me, I don't snap in the mornings anymore. I feel calmer inside. And when the heart is calm, the mind is clear, we're not just sharper, but life feels much more livable. These changes aren't dramatic. They arrive like mist, quietly, gently, but undeniably real. And if you've made it to day 14, place your hand on your chest, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, am I feeling more awake and at peace this morning than yesterday? If yes, that's the quietest thank you your brain could ever send. Every bowl of oats is a whisper of love. I used to think nutrition was a matter of science. But after decades of working with older adults, I realize it's a matter of memory. Each breakfast isn't just about calories or vitamins. It's a reminder, you deserve to live alert. It's a way of telling yourself, I'm still here, whole and enough. A bowl of oats each morning isn't a magic formula. But it's a gentle promise to yourself. A promise to nourish memory. A promise to keep your gaze steady. A promise to live each morning, not just exist. And if you've ever felt like you're slowly forgetting, please don't rush to believe your brain is old. Maybe it's just waiting for a signal. A bowl of oats. A gentle action. One small step in the right direction. If you've read this far, try starting tomorrow with 5 minutes just for your brain. 1 bowl of oats. 1 deep breath. 1 handwritten note. 1 memory softly called by name. And if this video made you nod even just once, comment I'm ready, so I know you still believe in your memory. Because sometimes, just one believer is enough to bring light back to the driest corners of the brain.